My name is Michael, and my girlfriend left me because I love dogs. Yes, I can never ignore a hungry dog. I bring food to it and take it to the animal shelter, and if they can't accept a dog, keep feeding it for months, bringing food from home and looking for a kind person to adopt it. By the way, I met Ashley when I was looking for someone who would want to adopt a dog. She helped me to find a good family, and then we started dating. Her parents often went abroad and spent weeks there while Ashley lived alone. Of course, she had a grandmother who looked after her, but the old lady lived on the other side of the city and frequently just called Ashley to find out if she was okay. That's why soon we began spending lots of time at Ashley's place without being afraid that someone could catch us. Once, I saw a huge, dirty homeless person dragging a dog tied with a rope. The dog was whining and wiggling, trying to get free. Despite the fact the man was obviously homeless, he was rather fat, which helped me understand why he wanted that dog so much. I realized that he was one of those people who ate stray dogs and cats. The idea horrified me, and I decided to save the poor animal. I made an attempt to get the rope from the man, but he was holding it firmly. I tried to push him away, but he was too large, so I failed. We started fighting. The man was a lot stronger than I thought. He knocked me down and we kept struggling in the street dust. When I managed to fight my way free, the dog already left. He slowly moved away, mumbling something. I made up my mind not to tell anybody about this case, but a few days later my head got itchy. Ashley noticed that and examined me. She was terrified to see plenty of lice in my hair. She started screaming and giving a lecture to me, blaming my dogs for the situation. So I had to tell her the story about the man and the dog I was trying to save. She was very displeased and said that I had to get rid of the lice. However, I couldn't afford it because I spent all the money I had on dogs. That's why I simply shaved my head. Ashley said I couldn't visit her until she finished disinfecting the house. The thing that scared me the most at that moment was that I would be mocked at school because of my bald head. Well, you know, there are always popular and cool guys who decide how you should look and what you should do. And if you're different, you get bullied and mocked. I held my tongue when they made jokes about me, but I wanted to teach them a lesson. However, now I understand that I shouldn't have done that. One day during a break, one of the cool guys said something about my appearance again. Others joined in and soon I was surrounded by a crowd of kids who were laughing at me. In the middle of that funny situation, I raised my head and said that I had leukemia. Then I broke down in tears and ran away. Everyone stopped talking. They were shocked. Some of them tried to make excuses saying they didn't know anything about my condition. I couldn't have expected such a thing from myself. I never wanted any of this, but my life changed. Nobody laughed at me anymore. Some kids allowed me to take their place in line to the cafeteria, and there were people who would come up to me and try to comfort me, offer support, and even do homework. But I always refused from that. At first, I even enjoyed the situation, but I knew that it was wrong, and I certainly didn't know how to get away with it. Ashley called and said how disappointed she was with me. She said she couldn't afford disinfection of the entire house. Well, her parents owned a large 2-story house and was afraid that the lice had already laid their eggs everywhere. She was shouting at me, and she definitely couldn't stop it. When she hung up, I began thinking where I could find money for the disinfection. A couple of days later, the leukemia situation got out of control. The information about a sick boy who was bullied at school spread really fast, and soon a group of journalists arrived to talk to me. I kept lying and prayed that my parents didn't find out about that. The guys who mocked me were forced to apologize to me publicly. I don't know who felt sorrier at that moment, them or me. After the news was shown on TV, Ashley came to visit me at school. She apologized and said she spent the entire night crying. She asked why I hadn't told her the truth, but I said that I already felt better and that I was going to be all right. I was too humiliated to tell her the real truth. In the middle of my conversation with Ashley, I heard the telephone ringing. It was my father. I felt dizzy and must have shaken because Ashley made an attempt to support me, thinking that I didn't feel very well. I said that I was okay and answered the phone. My father asked me where I was. I replied that I was at school. "I'll be waiting for you at home," he said and hung up. Just so you understand, my father is a tough and conservative man. We rarely have serious conversations, but when we do, I can hardly forget them. I came home. My father was sitting in an armchair. He was angry. I saw an open bottle with his heart pills. Then a difficult conversation followed. When it was over, he said, "It's good that your mom hasn't seen the news. I don't think she can take it. I promised to tell the whole truth and apologize to everybody. I also had to write a letter to the journalists, asking for a retraction. And here I am, lying in bed for 3 hours already, willing to have a heart attack or even leukemia, because I can't even imagine how ashamed I will be telling my story to everyone I know. I understand that Ashley will leave me anyway, and that will be the right thing to do, because the lies are nothing compared to the fact that I'm such a liar. Should I run away from home until it's not too late? What do you think? Leave your comments.